Bonjour, this is Jacqueline from femmefatale.com. Today I'd like to show you my signature cookies. Those cookies really represent my cooking because they're a fusion between French and Asian cuisine. It's a regular cookie dough that I've been making for years, and I flavor it with pandan extract and my favorite flavoring for desserts, pistachio and vanilla chips. Pandan are exotic leaves that are usually used for flavoring rice and making Vietnamese desserts. But I think they add a very subtle scent to the cookie dough and a beautiful striking color. So this is a store-bought pandan extract. You can find it in many Asian stores. So I started putting 16 tablespoons of room temperature butter to my mixing bowl. That's 2 sticks of butter. And I'm going to add half cup of granulated sugar, and we're going to cream the butter. Let's get started. It's going to get a little noisy. So that's how it should look like. That's the cream butter. Put it back on the stand. So now that the butter is creamed, we're going to add 2 eggs. That's 2 whole eggs at room temperature. So now the cream butter, we added 2 eggs. Let's add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So you don't want to do the mixture too fast because it's going to splatter everywhere. So let's do it like a very low. So slowly add 2.5 cups of flour. So we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of baking soda. We're going to mix that until it's well combined. The cookie dough is starting forming. We're going to scrape the edges. I like adding brown sugar to my cookie dough because it adds that little caramelized bits when you bite into the cookie. Let me show you how it looks. So now we're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of pandan extract. You can find it in most Asian grocery stores, but if you can't find it, I would suggest that you could substitute coconut extract and add a little bit of green food coloring. But it's not very the same flavor, but it's pretty similar. So let's add the 2.5 tablespoons, and I'll show you how the color of the cookie dough changed. So let me show you. This cookie dough is turning green. I think that's enough. And you see you'll have that striking color, and it will add a very subtle Asian twist to your regular cookies. So let's remove this. I'm going to scrape the edges. You see how green the color is? That's exactly what you want. It smells so good. But I always have them ready in my freezer because they store really well for, I would say, 3 months. And my guests always love those cookies and always ask me about the recipe. Hey, that's baby Arya. Okay, so let's add 1 1/4 cup of vanilla chips. white chocolate chips, but those are vanilla flavored. Those are from Guitar. They're the best for cookies. So that's 1 1/4 cup. So I say 1 1/4 cups of vanilla chips and a cup of already shelled pistachios. I love pistachio kernels into desserts. You can add that wonderful nuttiness and subtle sweetness. And then, you see? They make beautiful cookies. So I'm gonna start making the logs. Take some saran wrap. Place it on your workspace. I think we're gonna add half of the dough into for the first batch of cookies. Forming the log. And then we'll store them in the freezer. Form the log. You want it to be about 2.5 inches in diameter, because if they're too large, they won't be as they'll spread more, and then they won't be as soft when they're baked. There you go. 2 logs of cookie dough. Pandan cookie dough. So let's store them for at least 15-30 minutes in the freezer, and then we'll cut them into discs and place them in the oven. So I already had a log of cookie that I put in the freezer that I made last night. So I'm gonna show you. This is the sliced log. We're gonna cut about half an inch thick disc, and then place them on a lined cookie sheet. I use parchment paper so that they don't stick. There you go. That's going to be our cookie. So I had a parchment paper. Place it on top of a cookie sheet. Add the cookies. If you so they're not very sweet. If you wanna, if you prefer a little sweeter, which is my husband's taste, I dredge them a little bit of sugar on both sides. You don't have to. It's up to your taste. If you like very sweet dessert, otherwise they're fine like the way they are. So they would go to the oven for 10 to 13 minutes, depending on your oven, at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll see you back in 13 minutes. So the cookies are baked. They stayed for 13 minutes exactly in my oven. It depends, 10, 13 minutes at 350 degrees. Is this not good? Wait, you want to try a small one? Is it yummy? You like the chocolate and the pistachios? Yes. They're really yummy, not overly sweet. I'm gonna mail all the rest to my friend in LA and make a little package and mail it this afternoon. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week with another cooking video. À bientôt. Yeah, à bientôt. Au revoir. Encore un petit cookie. Do you want to finish your cookie, baby?
Yes.
Tiens.
Thank you.
Is it yummy?
Yes.
You still have the tag on your skirt.
I'm going to cookie.
Say à bientôt.